Lindsey Wilson wins it by a score of 88-78. Coach Keith Adkins joins me here courtside. Coach, that's a big-time win there.
Yeah, it's one, this has been a great week for us. And, coming into this week, we told the guys, we've got 4 straight home games. And none of them are must-win. But, man, they'll go a long way to getting us towards a little closer to where we need to be. And our guys took care of business. Give them a lot of credit. I think we changed some things, and not from a coaching staff standpoint, but from an internal standpoint. I think they changed. Our guys did. They changed some things this week. We got a little bit more sharing the basketball, better at that. We got some guys that we lost a little bit. I wouldn't call it selfishness, but we found out that if we really share it and just try to create something for someone else, good things can happen. So hopefully that's a sign of things that are permanent change, not just something we did this week and revert back.
You talked about that in the pregame that you want your guys to play with the energy they had on Thursday night. I think they played with that kind of injury. They had probably a little bit of a lull in the second half, but for the most part, it was almost there. Let's call it 38 minutes anyway.
Yeah, yes, and I think more than anything, what we saw during that lull is a little bit of fatigue. I mean, we've got some guys logging a lot of minutes.
This is the third game in 5 days?
Exactly, and next week it won't be like that. We'll get a little bit more rest up front. No Monday game, just Thursday, Saturday next week. But all 5 starters logged more than 31 minutes. You got Peyton came in there with another 17 great minutes. John Otzimer is figuring it out. He struggled a little bit in the first half of this one, but the second half, a huge 3 there late, 14 good minutes for us. So, got some people really contributing that are kind of finding out, what we need them to do.
Outside of the offensive rebounds that Pikeville had, I thought your defense was spectacular today. I thought you cut the dribble drive off for the most part. You did a pretty good job of defending the three. When they hit threes, they were 3-4 feet behind the three-point line. I thought your defense was good today.
Well, and let's look at their threes. They hit 6 of them. In the first half, Javante Carlton hits one to basically start the game that was deep and in transition. It's just a tough shot. Then right off of that, Xavier Gaona comes in, and he's going 100 miles down the right side and just catches and bangs it from deep. That's the only 2 they hit in the first half, so we have to live with that. Second half, Chase Parsley hits 2, and Chase Parsley's a good shooter, but he's a guy that's only going to look for threes if he has to. And 2 for 7, that's well beyond how many he wants to attempt in a game. So we kind of played the percentages. Hey, this guy's not going to beat us. I'm not going to say Chase Parsley's not a kid that can beat you. I love that kid. He plays hard. He's got a lot of heart. Tough kid. But we were going to make him beat us. And then Jazz Parker was a guy we just basically were not going to defend. No offense to him. He was 7 of 22 coming in, 22 attempts in 19 games, and especially against some of those lesser teams up front there. We thought, hey, we'll take our chances with Jazz Parker getting 13 shots and 7 threes. I mean, we got to take our chances with that. And if he hits them, then you pat him on the rear end and say, hey, great shot, and we move on. But I thought we played scouting report just about as well as we could.
Only 10 turnovers today.
Hey, how about that? And I think one of the big reasons our turnovers are cutting down by game is we're playing 2-point guards. J.R. Adams is basically a point guard, but I call him a combo.
Yeah.
Because he shoots it so well, he has no trouble transitioning off to the 2 spot, and now all of a sudden we've got 2 primary ball handlers in the game at all times, and I think that's gone a long way to cutting down that number of turnovers for us.
I completely agree with you. I hadn't really thought of that. I have another theory as well I'd like to share with you, is the fact that you're sharing the ball so well that people are actually looking for it. You're not forcing anything, and the fact that everybody is kind of on the same page has really cut the turnovers down as well.
No question. The chemistry's starting to come along, and let's face it, once again, we've got, 9 guys that are playing, 8 guys that are playing an abundance of minutes, and this first time I've coached them. This first time they've played for me. None of these guys, other than going down through there, Kale and John, had any game experience with each other. So that's obviously going to take some time to work itself out. And and those guys are kind of figuring it out. It's taken some time. It really has. But, hey, we'll work with it, and we'll continue to get better.
There was a lot of stars in this game, in my opinion. Let's start with Shaq Laney. I thought, his 19 points, his getting to the basket, very efficient, 7 of 10 shooting. He got 4 rebounds, his 5 assists. And I think back to, I believe it was in the first half. Yeah, it was in the first half. He backed down a guy, brought the double team to him, and fed a wide open Kel Stotts. I mean, that's the type of play. And when Shaq started figuring that out, boy, he's really shined over the last really couple weeks.
Well, and all of a sudden we talking about another position change, like JR coming into the lineup. We've taken Shaq from playing the 3 spot to playing the 4 spot. And when we talked about it early in the season, he's like, I'm not really a 4. And I said, I know you're not, but understand this: at this level, you can guard almost any 4-man we play against.
True.
The 4-man at this level will have trouble guarding you. Yeah. So all of a sudden, he's having a lot more opportunities. I thought late he held on to that one where he charged, held on to it too long. Maybe could have gotten somebody else an opportunity, but that's about it. That's about the only blemish, and you're right. He was really good tonight.
JR finished with 17, Kel 10, Eldridge 14, Peyton Gundos 15 were very big in this game tonight.
Man, what a stat line. That kid played 17 and a half minutes, didn't miss a shot, hit 4 threes. Man, missed a couple free throws. We'll get on him about that. Did get a rebound, but no turnovers. That's the biggest thing. He comes out there, makes some shots, and doesn't get any turnovers. Throw in there the fact that nobody at all plays harder than that kid.
Yep.
I mean, that kid, when I say something, I want somebody to be like this, somebody to be like that. Man, like this week, I'll pat Chris Coffey from Georgetown on the back. I don't think anybody really goes after rebounds like that kid does. Nobody at this level anyway. And I said, guys, I need a Chris Coffey type rebounder. And, man, he's come out. He didn't only got one tonight, but he comes out and he went after it early in the week, and he tried really hard to become that. He's
fearless.
That's an understatement. You'll see him go into walls, into defenders, and every once in a while he gets going a little bit too fast. But, man, I'd rather have to tone somebody down than have to build them back up to hey, you're not going fast enough. You're not going hard enough.
Coach, I was curious about the locker room. I got to think 0-3 in the Mid-South Conference, you kept preaching to the guys, you know what, be patient, it's okay. We get to go home for a while now. I don't know if you can really expect the guys to buy into that. But now you've been home, you've won 3 in a row, you've won 2 conference games against 2 good opponents. Do you see them start believing in what you were saying?
No question. I think they're starting to believe in it. They're starting to understand that, hey, if I'm not mistaken, 2 games today, both teams won, home teams.
That's right.
So what is 17 of 18 now?
17 of 18.
And as I tell them this stuff, I think they probably go back and check to make sure I'm not lying to them. But I think they're starting to figure it out that, hey, coach has got a point here. No, we're not out of this thing by a long stretch. And, there's all of a sudden, if the home teams continue to win, what you're going to have is everybody bunched up in the middle, and it's anybody's at that point. So I think all of a sudden they've got a little bit of swagger, if you will. I don't know if that's the right term. They definitely got some confidence. So it's like I told them today when we started this after the Campbellsville game. I said, guys, we've got 4 in a row at home. And they're not must win, but we need them. Let's face it, we need these games. And I just told them, I said, remember what I said? I said we need 4, not 3. So we've got 3 of the 4 down. We got 1 more coming up next Thursday against Cumberland's. That not a must win, but man, it'll go a long way if we could get it.
Coach, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you, man.